Welcome to today's parent session on online gaming, and specifically, are you in the know? So today is the first part of a 6-part series, and they are scaffolded. So hopefully you join us at the next session, and then you learn a little bit more as you go on, but they'll all build on each other. The last session being the most important is having those conversations with your children, with the teachers and with the schools, so that we know that we are a support, because we know it takes a village. My name is Dawn Jones. I am the academic technology coach for the lower school. Joining me today is also Kelly Briseño from the middle school. We have, she does the same job, and then Carolina Seiden will be joining us later. She is also the tech coach for upper school. We have Miss Lindsay Davis, the instructional literacy coach for the lower school. And then Mr. Elias Basile is our chief information officer, who will also be joining us. So at the end, if you have any questions, we have a good group from school that may be able to answer things that I may not be able to, based on understandings or research. Many of the things that we might hit on today and throughout the series are from our vetted resources, industry vetted resources. And at the end of this session, I will share some of those resources with you. So we will get started. The first thing, I am recording this session. It will be posted on my essay through probably a YouTube link. And then so you can rewatch it if you would like, or share with other members of our community. Today, we're going to talk about specifically Lingo, Slang, Emojis, and then part of playing online games with others, because the next session will go a little bit more into online gaming, but we will start that today. Okay, if you have any questions, Ms. Briseño will be the one in the chat box who can either answer them as we go, or alert me if we need a vocal on those questions. Okay, so the first thing I want to start with, though, is that there are two different landscapes for the internet usage. One, it's the adult view. The other one is the student landscape. So we, as adults, we use it for mainly communication, email, texting, social media, and then shopping. And services, financial management, news and production. And then there's entertainment. Whereas on the student side, they mainly use it for communication, texting, direct messaging, and then there's email. And then entertainment, games is number 2. I think you can throw homework in there, but that's a forced kind of thing with them, especially now where we are with the learning environment. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, this is an interactive session. You are going to head to Nearpod. So you're going to need your Nearpod app, or open nearpod.com, and you are going to join with this code. I will also put this code in the chat box, because Ms. Davis is actually going to take over presenting her screen, so you can kind of see and follow along from your point of view, and also for the recording that we capture what it looks like for those who cannot join, or if you have technical difficulties. So I'm going to stop presenting, and Ms. Davis is going to take over. Thank you, Ms. Briseño, for dropping the code in the chat box. Once you join, you will see it's called Time to Climb. And then it'll ask you for your name, and you can put your initials. You can put your first name if you would like. And then other is optional. I'm not quite sure what that box is. The kids usually put their nickname or some emojis in there. And then you will pick your avatar, which is your little cartoon character to represent you. And I start seeing everybody joining. So we have about 21 people online. So we should have about 21 people in the game. And as soon as we get to that number or close to that number, we will start. This is one of the games that the students love to play. If you have heard of Kahoot, it's very similar to Kahoot, but we use Nearpod in many of the classes, mainly specialists, and it helps. We can do it live like this, where I control your screen, or they might be sent lessons ahead of time or after to reflect and move at their own pace. So it's a really cool tool that our school uses, and you get to experience it on the student side. So we're at 13. I'll wait for about 20 more seconds. And the code, let's put it one more time, is S5SKF8. 5SKF8 for somebody who is texting me one more time. Okay. About 14, since I know we're still waiting on one. All right, so we are going to start. As soon as I do, the question will pop up and it's multiple choice. Let's see if you know them. They're all about the acronyms or words, definitions, maybe even some emojis. So the first question is, what is GOAT? It's an acronym. What does GOAT mean? Don't look at Miss Davis's screen. She might put the right answer. She may not. I would answer on your own accord. Here we go. Also, by the way, this is about speed and accuracy. You got to get it right and be the fastest to get points. So the next question, okay, what emoji stands for butt? And when it is the body part, not word. We got Odetta Webster in the lead. See if somebody can surpass her. You got to answer quick. Someone who is viewed as boring or a conforming person. This is more of a teenager word, but definitely middle school. Maybe Ms. Briseño could confirm that. You might see this rise in grades 4 and 5. Oh, Miss Davis. Try not to give away the answers here. All right. This is our last question. What does low key mean? What does low key mean? Oh, Miss Odetta Webster stayed in the lead. Congratulations. There's Alyssa Jacobs and Rebecca close behind. Nice job, everyone. Thank you for participating. I'm going to go back to presenting. Now, you do have the Nearpod code, which will advance your phone on the slides. However, I'm going to actually go back to using the slide deck just because I have a couple things that will animate and go through it. So if you notice, when I advance the slide, that gave the answers away, but here are some things. So I'm actually going to close that out and it may close with you. Okay. All right, so to add on to that, those were just a few that I pulled from this Barks list of teen text-to-speak codes. I will share this link because I know it's not visible and it's a GIF at the moment. So it's just a looping video because it was long and skinny. And even for me to screenshot it to blow it up, it wasn't quite visible. So I'm going to share that whole list with you all as part of a resource in a follow-up email. And then I'll also put that on the MySA parent page so that you can refer to it if you need later. Many of them are dated, many are new, and some of them were kind of like, took my breath away. The emojis probably were the most laughable, but also concerning at the same time. So there's not that many emojis, but they are good to know as a parent. So here's another little interactive piece. Can you name these online games? Can you identify them? So if you have access to the chat box and you want to participate, no points, no winner here, just to see how much you know and keep you all engaged. So here's the first one. Do you know this one? This image stands for what online game? This is the most popular in the lower school. So next, I believe it's next week, I'll have the percentages for you on who plays what. I have talked to all classrooms except for 3, 2 JK and a second grade I'm meeting with tomorrow. And then we will have a whole bunch of data to talk about who plays what and at what age. So this one is Roblox. There you go, everybody there. How about this one? Relatively new. Relatively new. Interesting. The grade level is all the way down to kindergarten. Pre-K if they have an older sibling. Here we go. Here goes the chat box. Yeah. All right. So quite a few. That was the one I actually downloaded that and was playing with Mr. Bertha because we kind of knew about it. My kids know the icon, but never had played it. So playing the game, downloading it, playing the game, experiencing it for the first time. I will say that I tried to play with Dr. Seiden in the upper school and Miss Persenio for the middle school. And I personally was trying to play on the computer. It doesn't really work like that. It's definitely a mobile device game that you can play with others. So that is Among Us. Next up, more common in the older grades. This is a hard picture. Also educational. We use it in tech, in engineering, I believe. Go with Minecraft. That's Microsoft Minecraft. That's a building game. It's I think it costs money. That's maybe why some people don't play as much, whereas Roblox and Among Us are free. This is a very new one to me. It came out only from a few students, but Mr. Bertha, who is a very big gamer in the sense of game consoles, he had heard about this one already and he was interested, so he's checking it out for me. Anybody know this icon? It's kind of creepy if you just look at the icon. This is called Hello Neighbor. Hello Neighbor. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on. I want to say Hello Neighbor is somewhat about a mystery, sort of, I guess, comparable to Among Us. Among Us, you're trying to find the suspect and they're using the word sus. If you start hearing you're so sus, that means that you're kind of suspicious, and that comes from Among Us. But Hello Neighbor also is kind of a mystery game. I'm not quite sure what kind of level of violence is in there. Yeah. So what are lower school students using to communicate? They are using text messaging. They're reporting now. This is grades 3 through 5. I did not really ask this. I asked this more in conversation to the lower grades, but grades 3 through 5 were able to, or 2 through 5 were able to take a survey with me. So we have some pretty good data here. 61% of those 196 students surveyed say they have text messaging. Later, we'll talk about the cell phones and how many students reported that they have their own cell phone. So that's where that kind of comes from. FaceTiming, interesting. I knew it because my kids sort of do it. We have neighbors that do it. They FaceTime and play online games together, which I think is an interesting way to do it, because Roblox, you cannot see or hear each other. They only have the chat box. And then a lot of the students, especially in like first grade, said their parents restricted the chat box, which I think is a great idea. And so they can't always chat, but they'll they'll FaceTime so that they can talk. And what world are you going to? Where are you going to now? Kind of follow each other along so they can hear. That would be similar to what they do, I believe, in Fortnite. And they have the game, or Xbox, PlayStation consoles, where they have the headsets and they're talking to each other. But the direct messages in a game, so in an online game, for example, Roblox, has a text message feature, a message box feature. It is pretty good with the artificial intelligence within that puts X's or asterisks on foul language and on private information shared, such as birth date and age, I believe. So if it catches some of those things, it does block it. But there are parent controls that you can set to turn those off. There is a book here. Now, books I ordered to kind of prepare myself. This one, oh, you're not going to see because I have a green screen. It's called Digital World, Parenting in the Digital World, a step-by-step guide to internet safety. The minute you purchase this, it's outdated. So anything in print, I found a bunch of like settings for parents, but it doesn't include any of those games that I just shared with you. It does share a couple of things. I believe Minecraft is in there as well, but it's mostly social media. So the best thing I can give you as like homework or action is to go into those accounts and check out the settings and try to play with them and see what's best for you and your family. The last thing that came about was called Discord and House Party. House Party, we do know from the middle school. Discord is just coming about. It's very, it has been an adult feature, more of the gamers. And so the gaming, those who like to game online, to go to Discord to ask questions. But it's also now a place where students are downloading to their personal devices, not necessarily their school device, and having, they call them private servers. So they try to use language they think I don't know. And they can chat with each other. So they make friends. It's by invite only. And then they friend each other. So it's their tight-knit group. And so they can have private messaging. The other one is House Party. And so what you want to look for is that it's anywhere that you are not. So if you have control of their cell phone and iMessaging, you can link that so you can kind of see it or you take it. But if you didn't know that they were downloading Discord, you wouldn't know what that is. It's a private messaging. You can go in there. There's also an app. It's called like a fake calculator. As they get older, it's actually a way for people to hide pictures. So it looks like a camera, it looks like a calculator app, but when you open it, it's all hidden pictures. So those are things, again, awareness of what it is. We are always going to be probably one step behind our children. It's just trying to keep ourselves together and a community so that we can keep each other knowledgeable. I think that is about it on the communication that I wanted to share with you. If anyone else knows of a private chat, definitely share with us. That way we could share with our community. This whole parent session kind of stemmed from me having my own first grader and pre-kindergartner, and them starting to be very interested in online. Online games. Now YouTube for kids is for babies, they tell me, and there's nothing good on there for them. So the restriction of that, how do I control YouTube and the parent controls there? Most of the parent controls that I find are not for content, they're for time. And so we'll talk about a couple things for you to look for while in those online features or apps. Okay, so when you're looking for things, here's your takeaway for today. Resources that our team likes to use, number one, is Common Sense Media. It is amazing at having ratings. They actually do, I believe, flags that are green, yellow, and red, and then they do age appropriate. They name the age where they think the app should be for, and then they also have parent suggestions. So sometimes it'll say 13, but parents may rate it at 9, kind of give you both scopes. That's a good one. I also link the parent need to know. So maybe that's a little bit more information to take in. There's 2 things that we use there. We actually use it for vetting our own apps that we use at school. We go through it. We use Common Sense. We type it in the app. Even if a teacher suggests it and a teacher uses it, we go to Common Sense as part of our vetting process and see what the reviews say there. Let's see. They also have digital citizenship lessons. I use them. I believe the other 2 divisions use them as needed. And we don't necessarily do them as a scope and sequence. There are 2 that we primarily hit on: cyber safety and then cyberbullying. Those are like the 2 big ones that we take away. But Google's Be Internet Awesome for Families has so many resources. And we have just started to use Google's site as great games in there for you. I will circle back to that in our last session. It has some scenarios. It has a conversation sheet for you and your child. So you can definitely browse that as we move through this series. International Society of Technology and Education, we use ISTE as the acronym. So you may hear us say ISTE. It's mainly for teachers, and not just technology teachers, teachers of the classroom. And they have a small section for parents, but it's definitely worth clicking and browsing, seeing what's there. And then now BARC. BARC has come up a couple times, and I know somebody submitted a question prior to, during the registration process on how can we monitor or block content? I think that is the question that all parents look for. This is not an endorsed site. I have not used it myself. We do not use it at school so much. I use it for educational pieces. I have talked to my own husband about purchasing it to pilot. But if anybody has that, I would love to hear how you use it at home, because it's both a device and a subscription. So you have to purchase, I believe, the device as you would a Wi-Fi router. Your device is connected to that. And then it has a lot of artificial intelligence. You may hear the word acronym AI as AI to scope out, read emails, text messages. A lot of it is for like suicide prevention. But it also has content managing, app managing. It seems on the subscription level that it's a yearly, I believe it's a yearly or monthly fee. And you can have different settings. It looks to me, it would be something I would be interested in. A lot of parents don't want to kind of cross that boundary of privacy. I think having these conversations with your students, with your children might be the place to start, and then letting them know that they are actively being monitored in different ways. So, like I said, as we move through cell phone usage and other online activities, we may touch back on some of these resources. So what I want to leave you with today is that your homework is to explore these resources and see how they may fit your family. And then email us questions in the meantime. If you have scenario, things that have happened and you want support, or how would this work for other families? What might have been a response in your household? We are going to do scenario-based small groups in a couple sessions, but I would love to have anything that might be applicable from our own community, because I feel like, and maybe many of you feel like, it takes a village to raise the kids. And as much as we can have community support, maybe you tell us. Right now, we're educating you all. Maybe you educate us. And it's definitely a team effort to make sure our students and children are doing the right thing and treating people right all the time, even when online. Okay, so I will have space for questions and answers, and you have a panel online with us. The next topic will be, does your child play online and with friends? So we'll go into that a little bit more in depth. Do you know what they play? What else do they know? What is a safe friend? And that was the lesson I just spent with the kids the past 2 weeks. I've seen every classroom talking about what is a safe friend online. So we'll talk about that in our next session. Okay. So I will stop presenting now. And that concludes the presentation portion. But if you have any questions, I can take them now. And you can feel free to unmute or put it in the chat box. Oh, we have a parent in the chat box. Somebody shared backyard.co. We'll definitely write that down.
I went to that site and it might be the wrong link. Is it .com? Or just .co? Maybe.
It might be .com. Let's see. Like I said, it's going to be anywhere you're not, right? They could just get a couple of friends.
.co. Whoever put that in the chat box. It's not. I went to .com. It's .co.
It is .co. Where friends play and talk. So again, another app where we are not. It's kind of like how Facebook became not cool because adults are on there. I will add that to the resources and look into that. Thank you for sharing. All right, so if there are no other questions, hopefully you all can join us next Tuesday, same time. I will double check on the Meet link and email you. If you have not registered through the Calendly link, please do so. That keeps the numbers and it keeps an email list for me. So thank you and have a great day.